Houthis break their silence with a carefully worded war message amid escalating regional tensions. Houthis drop an odd, ambiguous signal that appears to buy time, just as Trump executes a sudden policy U-turn on strikes. Houthis dismiss Red Sea war talk as not official, clarifying their stance to avoid premature escalation. Trump announces a shock 5-day pause on all planned Iran strikes, citing recent developments. US claims direct talks with Iran, but Tehran flatly denies any such negotiations took place. Houthi message may signal preparations for a bigger strike ahead in the evolving conflict. Yemen's Houthis have firmly pushed back against media claims that the group is formally joining Iran's ongoing war efforts, according to a statement provided to the Russian news agency TASS. Earlier reports had claimed the group is actively preparing to target US naval forces operating in the strategically vital Red Sea corridor amid rising tensions. Speaking exclusively to TASS, the Houthi source categorically denied that the group's leadership had issued any such official statement regarding the group's involvement in the war. The source emphasized that such circulating claims do not reflect any official position taken by Ansar Allah's political or military leadership at this time. Speculation about potential Houthi involvement has intensified due to the group's long-standing alignment with Iran as part of the broader Axis of Resistance network. This development comes shortly after President Trump's shocking announcement regarding the conflict posted directly on his Truth Social platform. US President Trump announced a 5-day pause on planned attacks targeting Iran's energy sites, marking a notable policy U-turn amid ongoing hostilities. Trump also claimed the US had held direct talks with Tehran over recent days, assertion that was quickly and firmly rejected by Iran's foreign ministry spokespersons.
President, Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations to end the war.
Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict. And I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hit. And I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else. But we have, they're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too. We're going to get together today by probably phone because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Who is Steve Witkoff speaking with, Mr. President?
A top person. Don't forget, we've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the son.
Are these direct
Nobody. We have not heard from the son. Every once in a while, you'll see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
I can't.
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
Because I don't want him to be killed. Okay? I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you've deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now, you know? Nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country, but perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
The Red Sea remains a highly sensitive international maritime corridor, strategically linking the Suez Canal to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait for global trade routes. By publicly rejecting these reports, the Houthis may be signaling a posture of caution amid emerging possibilities for de-escalation efforts, according to regional security experts. The US appears to have lost another F-15 fighter jet in Kuwait, with new footage circulated by Iranian media claiming to show an apparent downing. Iran's press TV shared footage on March 23 that it said was from Kuwait and showed the apparent crash of another F-15 fighter jet. So far, however, there has been no official confirmation from either the United States or Kuwait that a new F-15 loss occurred in this latest reported incident. This comes a day after U.S. Central Command publicly denied an Iranian claim that another F-15 had been intercepted near Hormuz, saying no U.S. fighter aircraft had been shot down by Iran. What is officially confirmed is the March 1st friendly fire incident in Kuwait, when 3 U.S. F-15E fighter jets were mistakenly shot down in separate incidents and all 6 crew members ejected safely. The Iranian military said on March 22 that it had targeted and possibly shot down an enemy F-15 fighter jet during an air defense engagement near Hormuz Island. Iranian reports said the aircraft was intercepted over the country's southern coastal skies, close to Hormuz Island, before ground-based air defense systems fired on it. Fast-linked and other Iranian state-aligned reporting said ground-to-air missile systems of Iran's air defense force struck the American jet after detecting it near the southern coast. A video circulated by pro-Iranian outlets purportedly showed the air defense system locking onto the F-15 before the reported engagement. However, there is still no official confirmation from the United States or Israel that any F-15 was actually lost in the incident. On March 21, Iran claimed that a third Israeli fighter jet had been successfully targeted, describing it as another breakthrough for its air defense network. The IRGC alleged that the Israeli aircraft was an advanced F-16 flying over central Iran and said it was hit by modern air defense systems at around 3:45 a.m., though Israel said one of its aircraft had only come under fire and was not damaged. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reported on March 19 that at least 16 U.S. military aircraft had been destroyed or lost since the start of the Iran war. Bloomberg noted the mounting U.S. losses after Iran also claimed to have struck an F-35, though those Iranian claims were not fully backed by official American confirmation. The report said the U.S. military has lost 10 MQ-9 Reaper strike drones so far in the war, with most of them brought down by enemy fire. Another half a dozen aircraft were badly damaged in attacks or accidents, according to the same Bloomberg reported tally. On March 19, Iran claimed its air defenses had struck a fifth-generation F-35 jet, and footage circulated online that allegedly showed damage to the aircraft. Among the most severe U.S. losses was a KC-135 refueling tanker destroyed during a mid-air operation, killing all 6 crew members on board. 5 other KC-135 aircraft were reportedly damaged while parked at an airfield in Saudi Arabia during an Iranian missile strike. Earlier, on March 1, 3 F-15E Strike Eagles were mistakenly shot down in separate incidents over Kuwait, with all 6 crew members ejecting safely. Israel's military has warned that the war could be prolonged, with military spokesmen saying Israelis should expect more weeks of fighting against Iran and Hezbollah.